Hello and welcome to UW-Whitewater at the College of Business Economics in Highland Hall in Whitewater, Wisconsin, where we're here today with Dr. Elena Platt and myself, and we are going to be featuring some of the exciting projects happening here at Whitewater in our 5th annual Techapalooza. And so, without any further ado, let's take a walk around and start talking about some of these different ideas and projects as we progress through and see the type of exciting work that our students have been working on for these past few months.
So, how many of you guys like video games? I'm assuming a bunch of you are raising your hands. I can't actually tell because I can't see you, but we have a project here that is basically about retro video games. So would you mind introducing yourself and your project?
I'm Jacob Toberman, and this is by RetroPie Emulator Station.
And can you tell us a little bit about, when you say it's a RetroPie emulator station, what does that involve?
Well, it uses a Raspberry Pi system to run a series of emulators and ROMs that allow you to play like older games.
And so how did you get started with this project?
Well, I just wanted to kind of experiment with the Raspberry Pi because I think it's just a pretty good tool to mess around with and learn stuff about computers.
And if there's anybody sitting at home thinking, wow, my parents used to play Nintendo, maybe I'm looking for a great Father's Day gift, if they wanted to try to do this on their own, like how did you get started with it? What do you actually need to build your own Nintendo emulator?
All you really need is the box itself, or the board, which can range from like $20 to $50. It's not that expensive. And then just a keyboard or one wireless controller.
And then where did you find the instructions to do this?
They're just really available everywhere on the internet, pretty much.
All right, very cool. And you said all the games are available online as well?
Yes.
All right, well, thank you so much. This is a really neat project, and if anybody's looking for an inexpensive present but will both be thoughtful and from the heart and also impress your parents with how smart you are, this would be one of the ways to go. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, Elena, one of the projects that I was looking around here when I first got here that caught my attention was this one right here, and it's actually a project that you have worked on too with a student. And who do we have here today?
This is Sam Sowens. I'm a senior here at Whitewater.
Senior here at Whitewater, and now all over in the news today you hear a lot about social media and a lot of things good and bad about it, and so obviously this is something that's extremely timely and quite interesting. So Sam, can you tell us a little bit about this project that you worked on this past semester?
I would be happy to. We worked on a Twitter privacy nudge or something akin to it. We exported a bunch of tweets from Twitter, manually rated them, and then created a process in RapidMiner to manually go through every tweet and try to rate it itself, essentially.
All right, and so you rated tweets. In this process right here, what was the goal of doing all this work?
The goal of this is somewhat how I said to create the privacy nudge. We're searching for potentially offensive tweets. So we created a list of a few different topics and keywords, and then we run them through the process, and then with a certain rate of accuracy, it is able to detect these potentially offensive tweets so it could warn people before they post them.
That's really fascinating. So you did some text mining process of this social media. In this particular example, you used Twitter to try and understand and try to identify and highlight potentially offensive tweets. Correct. And then what were you planning to do with that? Use it as like a tool, you said, or how would that be used?
I could see it being used on Twitter or with other social media sites where people type up their tweet and go to post it. But then the process detects it and then ask them a second time, are you sure you want to post this? And then they would have to confirm.
That's really important. It's almost like I guess a feature that you would have to kind of give are you really sure, just as a last type of second thing, so are you sure you want to post this something so that you might regret it? So it's kind of a really interesting tool that you've got here, and it's something fascinating that you've worked on with Dr. Platt this semester. And many students throughout the semester here at Whitewater, not only in our College of Business and Economics, but this is one great example of a faculty member working intensely with a student on undergraduate research or working on research projects that are of particular interest to the faculty member. And through this process, being able to do something that's pretty interesting and unique.
Well, thanks, and it's been great working with Sam. Sam has been kind of one of my star students, and he's graduating this semester, so congratulations, Sam.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thanks. Speaking of other projects, so we have two other things that I'm involved with. So we have, this is Willow Macy, and she is the Business Development Manager at Classmunity, which is a company that we co-founded. And this is Owen, who is the incoming president of our Association for Information Systems Student Org. And what we have here today is we actually have a collaborative table where basically AIS is using Classmunity to do a fundraiser for basically for the organization. So I'm going to hand this over to Willow, who's going to give you a brief spiel about what Classmunity is. I think some of the people tuning in are actually clients, so if you're thinking, hey, I've heard of that before, you probably have. And then she'll hand it over to Owen, who can tell you a little bit about AIS.
Awesome. Thanks, Elena. So Classmunity is a software platform that schools are using to sort of do all their fundraising in one place. So if you're doing just a straight donation-based campaign, something like GoFundMe, all the way up to fundraising for new football fields and things like that. It gives the tools to our teachers so that they can do more effective fundraisers in a secure way. So this is an example of just one of our fundraisers. They get access to a card reader and social media tools and things like that. So AIS is using it to do a fundraiser for their org, and Owen can tell you a little bit more about that.
So AIS is actually a student org on campus, and what we like to do is we like to kind of give the students a bigger picture of why they're learning what they're learning. So what we'll do is we'll have people from companies and professors come in and talk to us about IT skills, what we could learn, what we can better do to prepare ourselves for the future. And along with that, you also get to network with your peers and then the employers that come to talk to you as well. And then ISACA is the other student org led by Dr. Roger Yin, and that is more of the security side of the IT. So in that org, we have the IT security employees come in, and they'll talk to you about auditing, what risks there are, how you can counteract them. And you really learn a lot, as well as really kind of get to meet your fellow students and more so your IT classmates that you're actually attending classes with.
Thank you for that, Owen. And that's kind of the unique thing about our program is that we've got several different student organizations where our students can be active and engaged, just as Owen said, by exploring these topics of interest a little bit deeper, to building better connections with employers that are out there, and working on some pretty interesting stuff. And so we find that students that are engaged in doing all these type of student organizations do much better in school and really enjoy the experience. So thank you for that, Owen, and thank you. And next we've got here is a project from Dr. Yin, which he had the brief cameo a moment ago, and he's going to be talking about some of this really interesting stuff that he does with his class, his capstone project class related to network and security.
Hi everyone, my name is Roger Yin. In the class of a senior level class, I take the entire class. These are IT seniors. We visit a regional school district, just like yours in a way. We perform a network survey and security audit. That's a better name for actually we call ethical hacking, if you have heard of it. So the students learn how to become ethical hackers. We actually try to discover the loopholes of the network systems and identify the vulnerabilities of the network system and the computer systems as well. But most likely, guess what's the weakest link of a computer network system? The persons, you, me. Yeah, the users. So all things consider, we would try to identify a variety of security issues, and then in the audit report, we present to the project client, which is the IT director. Your school district has an IT director, and your business teachers are probably mostly engaged in the process as well. The tool we primarily use, the tools are all from public domain, what we call open source. As you could tell, that dragon is called Kali, Kali. Don't tell your teachers, I'm telling you this. This is probably a very potent, powerful tool in the security space. There are more than 300 security tools that you can actually learn how to properly use. Come to me. You come to UW Whitewater later, join IT, and we'll walk you through the whole process. Earlier you talked, we learned about the AIS student organization and ISACA student organization. ISACA, I'm the faculty advisor, it covers the IT and accounting, the audit side. So IT audit is an up-and-coming career opportunity for you to think of. And if you have any questions, do let me know. Roger Yin. In the summer camp, I work with high school students, middle school students, probably like yourself. And people call me Papa Yin, Y-I-N, Papa Yin. All right? Repeat after me, Papa Yin. Okay, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Yin. A question I've got for you, just a follow-up question, is that
yes.
You said that your students this semester, as you have in past semesters,
yes, good.
are creating a report and giving a presentation to these school districts that they're working with.
Yes.
Can you maybe tell a little bit more about how that preparation is and how that comes about?
Excellent. This semester, the class is presenting tomorrow night to the IT director of Edgerton School District. It's an all dressed up formal business presentation, and I intentionally reserved the dean's large conference room, the boardroom. So it is a win-win opportunity. So you come here, the students actually learn to become hands-on, obtaining the practical knowledge and skills in terms of performing an IT and security audit, and our clients actually getting the free service. Otherwise, they're going to pay thousands of dollars to hire an external consultant. Mm-hmm. So it's a valuable partnership opportunity. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. I think that this gives a perfect example. Dr. Yin's work right here that he's doing with the students this semester is a perfect example of a theme that we try to have in a lot of our classes. The first is giving presentations, oral and communication skills. That's something that our employers are saying over and over again, that they would wish that our graduates have just continually improved oral and written communication. And by giving these formal presentations in front of clients, and this is not just unique to his class, but it's a perfect example of what we try to do in a lot of our classes, is to practice those type of skills so that you get that experience before you head out there in the real world and start working with your actual clients. Another part of that too, that's a perfect example of what Dr. Yin does, and it's a case study about how great this is the engagement with the community and working on a real world project. In several of our classes, we try to do that. We try to implement, and you'll see shortly in a couple of other examples of how we try to, in our classes, instead of just working on projects purely from a textbook, where we try to bring the students directly out into the field, out working with a client and working on their problems that they've got. Because the first thing that you've got that's unique about our program is, sure, you'll see a technology in a lot of these things, but the first thing that we deal with is what's the problem? What's that business problem? And trying to understand that first. And there's no better way to get that experience than actually working with a real client and getting that real world experience so that you can have that added to your resume by the time that you graduate. And our employers love that. So thank you again, Dr. Yin, for all the great work that you do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roger. Well, now that we've spoken to you a little bit about the real world, let's go to a less real world and visit virtual reality. So this is Joe. He is director of our amazing Kobe Tech program, which is basically all the cool technology, including the stuff that we're using to record us right now, is from this fabulous group where, by the way, a lot of our great students are employed. But Joe is here today to show us a little bit about what we're doing with virtual reality. So Joe?
Well, one thing that I just have to say, I have probably the greatest job here on campus. I get to work with technology and customer service field, and more importantly, even interact with all the students. We have a team of about 20 students in our Kobe Tech area that either I supervise or co-supervise as well, and the best thing is just helping to train them up and teach them about IT and have fun with it and take good care of the customers. And one of the new things that we're seeing kind of emerging right here and that we can have fun with as well is with the whole virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. So one item that I have here, and Dr. Platt, if I could have you give this a try. Thank you. This is the Samsung mixed reality headset from Microsoft. And this one is actually, we're doing a sample tour visiting Rome. And we can see actually what the user is seeing after you're all set with the headset. We can actually see what the user is seeing on the screen right over here.
All right. I am, wow, okay. I'm ready to go.
Excellent. And right hand, please. Right hand, please. That. And then we'll look around to see where that painting was. That's kind of the start of our tour. And then we will just be whisked away to Rome in just a moment.
Okay. Oh wow.
So if you could describe maybe what you've got going on here.
Actually, this reminds me in parts a little bit of being in Venice last summer. There's basically people walking on the street. There's these, beautiful buildings, and I kind of want to go find some gelato. This is actually really neat. I feel a little bit less cheated that I didn't make it to Rome last summer.
And as part of the tour program, what's going on, a guide is kind of telling you some history and background to kind of make you feel like you're actually in Rome. And it's directing now Dr. Platt to look at that map, I believe, which will then send you into more, just to your right, I believe. And right there. And they kind of give some background of what's going on right now in world about what Rome would have looked like up to 1,000 years ago. So in just a moment, the screen will then change and kind of let us know what's going on. And Dr. Platt, if you could let us know what's going on, that the guide is what they're telling you right now.
I'm actually having a little bit of a hard time hearing, but she did say something about this area used to be a racetrack, and they're showing that it used to be the case, and now the ground is falling away from me. I am afraid of heights, and this is kind of freaking me out a little bit. Okay.
So part of the immersiveness right now, if you look around, and it's okay, you're safe, is you will see... You will see some dates showing at what level the streets were at the various years as well. And you actually then get to see on how Rome kept getting built on top of Rome.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Wow, this is seriously cool.
So some of the common phrases we hear is immersive, that you actually feel like you're actually there, because as you look around or peek over the ledge, it feels like you're looking over a ledge when we're really just standing right here in the atrium.
Some questions that I've got for you, Joe, is how is this
Thank
being
you.
applied? Could you see this in classrooms here? You're talking about an immersive experience. Obviously, this is quite engaging, but how have you seen, or are you hearing ideas about how instructors might be applying this within their classrooms?
And that's what we're most excited about with all of this stuff. One of the uses of a video that we're doing right now is with our safety department. They do an OSHA walkthrough. And currently what we'll do is we'll film a video camera and just kind of shoot just a video camera, and you kind of look at what would be a OSHA violation. But right now you can only look at what's being filmed. If we actually use like a 360-degree camera, like the Theta that we have actually right there, we can actually film everything 360 degrees around, let somebody either put a headset on or use a $10 Google Cardboard in their own phone that they already have the equipment for, and just kind of look around like this and look where all the OSHA violations are. Or even on their own tablet, just kind of hold that tablet and look around and just see where they are. So we do see some big applications for that.
Fascinating. So this is Italy right here. How far away are we until we get a virtual reality of Highland Hall?
Actually, we worked on it last week. We did a test. Jonathan Kelly, who's behind camera right there, did a test about a week ago and just is taking lead on just some experimenting just with our own college right here to kind of do a Google Street View to see what's all available. And actually, one of our next projects in this Techapalooza that you guys will see next, you'll see even more of what the rest of campus is even doing. And we're seeing how these other parts of campus are doing augmented reality, virtual reality, and we're just learning how we can all build this together and just make it great for everyone.
Fascinating. So moving from trying to make the campus a little bit more engaging for outsiders to within our classrooms themselves and trying to use this tool to make the classroom experience a little bit more immersive. So that's exciting.
Most definitely, especially as the price point is coming down more and more. We can even use our own phones and stick it in a $10 piece of plastic like this and kind of give somewhat of that same experience. It's kind of the Google Cardboard style.
All right, thank you very much, Joe.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Well, speaking of Google, we have a project here with one of our students, Chris, and it's kind of an interesting story as to how it came about. So, Chris, do you want to tell what you're doing and the background?
Thank you, Elena. So for the past 3 months here, I've been working on a campus mapping project here on the University of Whitewater, going around looking at our amenities and beauty that we offer on our campus. And so far, I've identified 107 locations. 44 of them are physical, brick and mortar. So as you can tell, a lot of them are inside interior offices that people are going to get information. So throughout this project, I've been getting the name, the addresses, the phone numbers, and the hours of locations and identifying where they are. And with that process, we've been working with Google My Business, which is a free platform to go ahead and get updated information online. And with that, for Whitewater, we've updated our empty dormitory into updated logo for our branding online. So it's quite amazing with this free platform. We could integrate online with Google and brand and get our information out there for others to get. With that, we're updating our mapping to Bing Maps and other platforms. But in the near future, we're going into Google Street View, and you're able to actually place yourself inside of a location and twirl around, and you can see where you're going to be connecting and engaging within the community of Whitewater.
Mm-hmm. That's fascinating, because just seeing the stark difference there from the before to the after. Who would have thunk, you know, that was the branding image of Whitewater before and all these different locations. It looks a lot better, and that's quite a significant improvement that you've got there. I mean, how long does this process, how long, I mean, to learn this new technology and to try it out and then to use it, how long did that process take?
For probably roughly the past 2 months, I've been sorting through photos. I've gone through almost 20,000 photographs. So It has been quite the effort here of sorting and tagging photographs of our location. So it isn't that long of a process, but identifying assets online is quite tedious. Once those are done, the progress of this project should be moving forward.
And particularly with over 100 different locations that you focused on campus, that's tremendous. Because I mean, you know, you would think that, you know, with Google Maps and whatever, it's just you're looking at a location, but so many people are out there looking at Google Maps or searching for places and locations online that are not just looking at the actual location, but looking at things that give you an idea what that, an attractive idea of what that place that you're looking at and searching for is.
Yes, correct. And even along with the Google platform, we could integrate it into Google. So in case there's an event coming up, just yesterday there's steak and shrimp here at our dining hall on campus. So directly when you're searching for the dining hall on Google, it pops up and you know the event that's occurring and the time and the date. So it's very nice for students to be able to know the events that are occurring around on campus.
I tell you what, you know, this is a great example of a project that you've worked on right here that has immediate value for the university, but this certainly has application for many other businesses that are out there. So that's great stuff that you've shown. Great work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, Elena.
All right, let's go over here and see what we have going on. Hi, guys. How is everybody doing? Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the project that you're working on?
All right. I'm Mike, and I'm part of the IT Capstone course, and we were tasked with basically remaking a website for Black Hawk Human Resource Association, which is a chapter of SHRM, which is also the biggest U.S. human resource association. So it's a pretty big deal, I guess. But this is what the website looked like before, and we used Wix, which is a website hosting platform, which allowed us to basically make a website without coding. We just made a website, typed what we wanted, moved things around, and this is the final product. Yeah.
So working with this technology platform, using Wix to create and update and revise these websites right here, I got to ask you right here, where did you start with it? Was it the technology, or I mean, how did you engage the client to understand what they wanted, to understand the problem, the challenges that they were facing? Can you tell us about that process?
Yeah, so beforehand we met with all of them, and then we decided to get into groups to decide what we would do. So there was an IT side and there was a digital marketing side, because once we make the website, we want them to be able to gain members off of it, not just retain the 170 or so that they have. So what we did was we all came together and we made a requirements document with them. So it had about 170 points, I believe, and we came together. I was a part of the hosting platform team, so at that point, we didn't even decide that we wanted to use Wix. The Black Hawk Human Resource Association was talking with other chapters around us, and they wanted to use Wild Apricot, which wasn't as user-friendly. And since these people are human resource majors, they don't have that IT background. So we want them to be able to use the website easily and be able to change it if they need to. So yeah, it just got into groups, and from there we figured it all out. So.
Terrific. And so with this work that you've shown, I mean, to the naked eye for me, it looks like it's a dramatic improvement. What type of feedback have you gotten from them?
Oh, they were really happy with what we got. They were a little critical at first because it's hard to, it's not doing a project for a teacher, it's for a client. So we understand that they have to use it after, and we wanted to mold it to what they wanted to keep, so they didn't have to do a lot of those changes after. So it was a lot of them honing it, basically, and us just adjusting it to what they wanted. So they were pretty happy. Jeff, who's one of the board members, came in yesterday. He learned it. He said, wow, this is really easy. Thank you guys a lot. And, it was pretty fulfilling.
So you mentioned that you were one part of a team, and then there were a couple of different teams. How was that interaction working in smaller group teams and within a larger group team too as well?
So there were about 8 groups, I think, and there were 2 main divisions. There was the digital marketing side and the IT side. And Therese is from the digital marketing side. Alex is content. Brian. My brother Tim is on the website content team, and there were just a bunch of other groups that we were a part of, and we had a manager for each group. So my group was a total of 4 people, and the managers would sort of get together, and then that's how we would plan. So my brother was a manager of the content team, and since I was choosing Wix, I was sort of running support for the other groups, and they would get the content, and we would just drill that down and help them out. So.
Very cool. And one last question. So, you're a capstone, which means that you guys are all getting close to graduation. As you look forward to transitioning from a student to a IT professional, how do you feel that a project like this prepares you to go out into the real world?
Yeah, so I touched on it a little bit before. I feel like a lot of the projects that you do for school are for the professors, and they just look it over, and that's the grade and that's it. But for this project, we had to work with people that this is basically their passion. HR is what they do, and it's going to be what they're going to be doing for the rest of their life. So just working with them and seeing high level how things are different than compared to working with a professor, because our professor was there and she would guide us, but she wouldn't really help us, so we had to do it by ourselves. We had to choose the platform, which we ended up choosing Wix, and we had to make all these decisions by ourselves with the guidance of the professor, but not the help. So it's basically more of a manager type relationship as opposed to a teacher. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Very nice. Well, great job, guys. Thank you.
Yep.
And we have our last exhibit over this way. It is another project, websites that were developed for assorted businesses in the community. So who are you, our spokesperson? All right. So can you tell us a little bit about what ITSCM 285 is, and then the particular website that you worked on?
Sure. So ITSCM 285 is an entry-level HTML website design class. We work with HTML and CSS, and through various courses of the semester, we go through the basics of your basic tags when it comes to like paragraphs, heads, stuff like that, and then into the more advanced CSS coding, including like jQueries and everything to go along with that. So for our final project, we had to develop a website. We had a list of clients that we could do the work for, or we could come up with one on our own. Like mine in particular, I did mine based, it was for my cousin who builds model cars and sells them online and stuff, and he only had a Facebook page for that, so talked with him and got the approval to do that, and able to build a nice site that eventually will go into use.
Now looking at this, the previous project or the previous example that we just looked at, they were using a professional package, Wix. Did you use any professional package here in the development of your website?
Really, what we used was just Aptana, and a lot of time I was just using Notepad++. So
you coded all this yourself?
For the most part, yeah. We did have some examples that we worked on in class that we could go off of and kind of use as like a baseline, but for the most part, it was all just using book as reference and going total custom.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that process, about how to get to this final design? Did you have some initial designs, early designs, to kind of get feedback and kind of engage with that client and kind of understand exactly what they wanted for the website?
Yeah, we were able to, especially because I had a personal relationship with my client, I was able to show him a couple examples of what we had worked on in class and just got him a general idea of what we could go off of, and just kind of built like a basic structure. And then over time, I'd send him a couple updates, like this is how the website's going. And then he'd tell me things that he liked, things that he didn't like, and went on from there.
Well, terrific. Now we've got a few other examples here that anyone else would care to show off some of the work that they've done. And who are you?
I'm Kayla Williams.
And
I did Baked by the Cook, who actually is by Erin Cook. She used to work here on campus in the accounting department. And so she's actually a baker, and she does cookies and cupcakes. And so with mine, she gave us a lot of the color schemes herself. So I just kind of took all of her input and turned it into this. This is a iMovie, so it's not working on this computer right now, but it is a slideshow of some of her cookies and cupcakes that she has. Let's see here. And then, so I have it go to like a creations page where you can click on each option and see a little bit more. So here is like the cookies page specifically. I decided to use a table so that you could easily see a lot more of the pricing, the description, and then also I used a little bit of padding to center the list of all the different flavors that she has as well.
Are people who go to this website, are they able to get into touch with Erin if they want to order some cookies?
Yeah, I actually have on my FAQ page, I have a jQuery that I used of an accordion to show how to order. She
nice.
prefers everyone to go through email. And actually, if you click on the email, it will then pop up the email with specifically on that one, in the subject page, it'll say order information. And then on another page, I have if she offers some classes and parties. And so then they can put their information in there if they want to do a class or a party, and then the prices and information are on that page as well.
That's really great. How did she used to spread the word about her cookies before she had your website?
She has a Facebook page and an Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And so then she asked our class to possibly make a website for her as well.
Very nice. Well, you did a great job. It's
Thank
gorgeous.
you.
And I think we have two other projects. I think that you are our camp project, I seem to remember.
Yes, I am.
So can you introduce yourself and maybe just say a couple of sentences about your website?
Sure. I'm Joey Kreigsiger, and I worked on the Camp Long Lake page. So they have a current website, so I just edited a little. I made a whole fresh new one because the previous one, it was just a lot of red on, more red, and just a lot of red on it.
You said it was a little hard to read before.
And not very user accessible. So some things that I did that were different is I sorted the pages to create a Boy Scout page, a Cub Scout page, and a staff page, because they used to just have links on a camp page that would just for everything. So it was kind of hard to find what you were looking for. So having them separated. So on the Boy Scout page, I added a video of the camp. Their dates of everything and their costs for certain amounts. And on the left and in a side, oh my gosh, I cannot compute. I put the merit badges offered and also the form sale need for camp and all that. Those pages aren't
Very
fully
convenient.
done and all that because I did the minimum for the project because mine's a pretty big one. So that's one thing I did. And they didn't have a contact page fully. So I added like their off-season and on-season address. So when it's on-season, where the camp is, and then off-season, where the council office is, and a map for each of them.
Very nice. So are they excited to be receiving their new website?
They will be. I want to show them what I have so far. So I plan on doing that on June 4th when I have to actually go down there.
Well, very nice. Good luck.
Thanks.
And it looks great. I think we have one more project left. So if
Yeah.
you want to introduce yourself and your project.
So my name is Ryan Weicker. I had the same business as one of the previous presenters with Baked by the Cook, who's a local baker from, I believe, Fort Atkinson. And I got nothing new to say about the business itself, but there's just a little difference as far as like, I guess the artistic design of the website itself goes.
Can you talk a little bit about how you approach the design of the website? Like,
Sure. So as she talks about, Erin has a Facebook page where she's got all of her pictures and stuff, and she had all logos made up, all the banners, everything, and a color scheme in mind. So we just had to kind of roll with the punches as far as what she provided to us, and then throw that together into a setting that looked good. So she's big on the teal and the tan, so we thought the cutting board background looked good. The purple goes well with the teal. I don't know, just trying to make it look good because I think her end goal was that she just wanted something that looked a little more official than just a Facebook page with pictures of cookies on it. Even though her cookies speak for themselves, they're amazing.
well, you guys did a great job, and she has. I think she's gonna have a really tough choice deciding between the two samples she has
I
here.
hope so.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
And we actually do have one more bonus presentation right here of a website that was created in this class. Could you please introduce yourself and tell a little bit about what this project is that you worked on?
All right, my name is Dan Stevens, and I also did Baked by the Cook. As you can see here, just like multiple aspects of the website, we had to do a navigation menu. I made it 2-tier, as you can see. Had a really nice image. I had a gradient for the header and the footer. Here. Oh, there we go. Really hard to scroll.
So it's very visual, I see. It's interactive, engaging. Can you tell me a little bit more about maybe what are some of the main takeaway lessons that you got from working on a project like this?
I'd say the main takeaway was just being able to create my own thing, kind of be creative with the coding, and kind of like use what I learned in class in like an actual real life thing. Because we had a choice of clients, and hopefully she'll pick mine because it's just really creative, learning what we used, and it's just really eye-opening to use this in real life and help someone out possibly.
Wonderful. Thank you for that.
Yep.
And so to kind of wrap things up, and again, we kind of apologize with all the activity that you got going on here because, well, first of all, I think it's kind of exciting to show off some of the work that we're doing, and so it's gathering a lot of attention. But this is an actual live class day, so there's a lot of activity around the building as well. But we hope that from this experience that you can see with the Techapalooza that we've got here, that a little bit about what our program is. In a sense, you know, you see some of the type of skills that our students are getting, which isn't just technology skills. You see that there's a lot of communication skills that are involved here, problem-solving skills, and understanding what that business aspect of these issues are. It's not just learning the technology and being an expert on the technology. It's working with people, too.
Yeah, there's a real people aspect to it. And, you know, you can see in a lot of the things that we're interested in. I mean, we obviously have all these different projects where we're helping clients. We also have a strong presence in the startup area. We have a bunch of wonderful student organizations. And I like to think that we have a really great and friendly, hardworking student body, and that the faculty, I like to think, is okay too.
Absolutely. And so from that point, you see that with our students here, there's a lot of engagement with faculty, a lot of hands-on work with faculty, with clients, and also the community. Some of these projects right here, these are all pro bono, things that they're doing for free. These services that perhaps some of these companies couldn't have afforded to do themselves, so they're actually doing a great service for the community and giving back the skills and the knowledge that they're gaining here at Whitewater.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. So again, I'm Dr. Elena Platt. This is Dr. Andy Saganek. And if you have any questions, feel free to go to the Whitewater website and look us up or send us an email. We're always happy to talk with prospective students. All right, have a great day, guys. Bye.
Bye.